Hello! This week I wanted to have a chat about a small game, Cartelgraph. Now, this is a solo RPG made by a small Australian company, the Raven Ridge Press. It certainly got me interested enough to give it a go. This is the first time I've ever played a solo RPG, and it got me interested because, as the name might imply, through the course of your adventure, you will draw out a map, which gives you a nice basis you can run forward into a future game, give you some ideas. But what you'll need for this is, of course, paper, most likely a pencil, although you can use a pen if you like to live dangerously, some dice, a deck of cards, and a character sheet. Now, it's not really a genre this game goes for. Now, I sort of think of it as generic fantasy, but really, as a solo RPG, it's whatever you want. As a big city might be a bit tricky with some of the most of the locations being forests and mountains and lakes, but you might be able to do an interesting module for it. Certainly an idea I hope they might consider. But the cycle of play is generally quite simple. You will get a number of dice. You roll them. Some will represent cities and camps or small towns. Others will represent forests, rivers, mountains. You roll them. You draw them onto the map. You'll choose one. You'll travel to it. Here's where you'll flip a card. You will find out what happens to you on the journey, and you'll find out what happens when you get there. Now, as of what I get the impression most solo RPGs is, it is really a journaling RPG. So after each round, you'll write in a journal entry of your adventures. As you reach into your final phase for the round, rest, taking various actions based if you're in a settlement or the wilderness. Much more restrictive in the wilderness, no open shops. Very inconsiderate of the forest fairies, I might say. But really, how much of a journalist you are, it comes down to you, I suppose. I myself am not much of a writer, so my journal entries were very light. But I quite enjoyed the map banking part of it and the journey I went on. This is, in fact, the first game I played of it, where I mysteriously came across a magical portal which people were hearing whispers out, which was bringing forth a new religion that was sweeping across the land, and everywhere I went, people seemed to already knew who I was. It was quite creepy, and ended somewhat ambiguously as I vanished into a cave down the bottom there. I don't know if I'll do a recreation of that game. I am very tempted to do some actual plays, recording them and seeing how that goes. But overall, it's really a short review, as I don't view myself as a major RPG reviewer at the moment. Still finding my feet in the matter. But I was certainly happy to support a local company and certainly happy with the product. I can't remember the price. Some people seem to be upset that the book is an A5 and not A4, but I think it's got plenty of information. There isn't much wasted space in here. Every part of it is important to the game. And as though, some people might think low of tables, like, there's a lot of things in here I didn't get to see at all. So I certainly think it's got a lot of replayability, especially given a lot of the results I got were coloured by the narrative that was already forming in my game. So overall, I really enjoyed myself. I think it's great because at the end of it, you end up with a map you can use for an RPG, and gave me something to do in an afternoon when our normal RPC session was cancelled. But yeah, that was my experience with Cartelgraph. I certainly recommend it, especially for a first time solo RPG. Certainly gives you something physically you're working towards to help that narrative grow. But for now, that's me, Captain Still, signing out.